Just going to set up everybody. Wait for a few more people to arrive, and then we'll get going on this. It's 8 o'clock. You've got Tommy is here as well. It's 8 o'clock. You've got Tommy is here as well. So just going out and a few more people, then we're going to rip into this box. Haven't opened it myself yet. It is the new Carisma SCA1E Coyote kit version. So just going out and a few more people, then we're going to turn the volume down on this as well. How you doing, Adam? There's a bit of a delay on the video, so first time doing this as well, so it's a new one for me. Nice Franco, nice. You're gonna love it. I've already had a play with one, and they are great. They really are. I haven't done many unboxing videos, let alone doing a live one. Should be fun. See what happens. Hopefully you can all hear me. If you can't, if you want to see anything in more detail, do message, do write something, do tell me. I'm going to be looking at my iPad at the same time as doing this, so apologies if I'm not looking at the screen the whole time. Yeah, I'll probably give it another 5 minutes before I actually rip into the kit. Shouldn't take too long though. Nice. I've been looking at the links cage, the 3D printing. Just need to find someone with a 3D printer that wants to do one for me, because hopefully my son Maximus is going to be getting the links, or you know, at some point he wants to do a Jurassic Park style rig, so he's looking to use that as the base for it, and we'll be using the 3D printed cage and the extra bits you can get off the Carisma website. And if you haven't been there, go carismascaleadventure.com, I think it is, or .co.uk, and things that you need there if you've got a 3D printer, if you've got a friend who's got a 3D printer, to actually get some scale accessories for you. Very, very long print apparently as well. How long did it take, Franco? We're talking like an overnight style, like when you used to be a kid and you have to download the video so you could watch them the next day. Well, am I just showing my age there? 27 hours, wow. But it's worth it though. It does look good when it's all done. It does look good. Yeah, let's give it a few more minutes. If anybody can, if they can share this in the groups so people can see that it's happening. I've shouted about it a little bit, and I will be putting a video of this up afterwards, so people will be able to catch it afterwards. So hopefully that's all good. Just have somebody else join as well. That's cool. Yeah, being this is summertime as well, it is getting a little bit dark. The sun is out a little bit, but I thought I'd do it in my garden. A bit more interesting. So nicer light out here anyway. Yeah, great design. Love the look of the Ovens links. Yes, totally agree with you. Totally agree with you, Franco. The links can be a really nice machine. It was quite Marmite when it first came out. There's quite a few people said to me, they're not sure of the looks of it. They just weren't used to it. But I think it's growing on a lot of people now. It's quite kind of. It's a nice one. How you doing, Scott? See Darren as well. Good to see you guys. Like I say, this is my first time doing a live stream, and I don't do many unbox videos either, so you have to bear with me a little bit. I'm looking at my iPad to catch the comments and so on, so I've got the better camera working on my phone, so to speak. But hopefully you can all see me okay, you can hear me okay. When I jump into this, I will get the stuff closer to the camera so you can see it a little bit better. Totally agree with you, Adam. I've seen I think I've seen 2 custom painted Lynxes now, maybe 1. But yeah, it's a nice body, and the fact that it fits straight into your Coyote chassis, it's win-win. All you got to do is change your body posts, and the Carisma bodies are super detailed anyway, and that's not missed on the Lynx. It's a really nice one. I did some of the video repeat, one of the local spots in the Midlands, and it's really nice sandstone there, and it just came to life. It's a very capable truck as it is, but yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, so I've got a few people now, so I'm actually going to rip into the box. The box itself, it's a smart box. It's not a massive one, which is nice because it means you're going to be able to keep it for kind of keeping your stuff in afterwards, keeping your spares and so on. It's got the scale drawings on there. You can see some of the new features, which I'll post pictures of later to kind of show what they are. But the new features that are coming in the kit, you've got new shock mounts, you've got new 1.9 True Bead beadlock wheels, you've got the new ATAT tyres, the all-terrain adventure tyre, you've got the aluminium oil shocks, chassis servo mount, and the forward battery mount. And then it's got the other details as well, like it's a 285mm wheelbase, which is kind of as the standard Coyote is anyway. You've got the solid axles, double triangulated 4-link suspension, C-section ladder chassis, which is all nice and scale and correct. And then you've got your bumpers with the shackles and the winch mounts, all good to go. Flipping the big box over, you've got a picture on the side here, going into a little bit more detail. Hopefully you can see that okay. And then if we flip it around to the other side, you've got the picture that you may have already seen with the clear body mounted onto the kit, which has been built already. So that's what's going on with the kit. Now, genuinely haven't been in this myself yet, so this is a new one for me, so I'm just going to rip into the box a little bit and get stuck in. So I'm going in now and see what's in here. So stick that there so you can still see it. Right, so nicely packaged. It's got all the bags all nicely labelled, which is ideal. I actually was able to do the M40S kind of saloon touring kit that Carisma do, and I built that as a kit. And you may have seen the time-lapse video of me doing it, and that was very nice to follow. The manual was the labelling of the bags, it was all done in the right order, so you do build it correctly by following it. So if you've never built a kit before, this is going to be fine. You're going to be absolutely fine to do this. But straight on the top, you've got the bumpers. Here goes the wheels and the tyres. So all sealed, all nicely done. You've got the ATAT tyres. Let's rip into them. So the new tyres, the all-terrain tyres, softer than the original ones, and they're really grippy. I've already driven some of these with the Ford F-150, and they are a much nicer tyre. They're traditional 1.9, so they're not the dual size now like on the original Coyote. And the wheels in here as well, you can see they're the nice scale look, chrome wheels, true bead locks with the inner ring for you to put your weights on. It's ideal, it's just what you need. Let's put all these to one side a second. And there's your hubs as well to actually mount them onto the hexes, so they could be transferred onto other models if needed. Nice and simple. Now, coming on to here, we've got some of the internal gears by the looks of it, and the bearings, and there are some proper bearings in here. Now, I know a lot of people have been going on about the bearings and the bushings and so on. Carisma know what they're doing with the bearings. They put bearings where they need bearings, and they put bushings where you don't need bearings, because bushings are going to last longer when you're off-roading and going through mud and water and everything else. A lot of people will upgrade them. Personal preference. I may upgrade my own, but not upgrade Maximus's. I don't know yet, haven't decided. But they're standard sizes, they're easy to do anyway, but the bushings that are provided in there perform well. I have driven them with the bushings, I've used it, and it goes fine. But that's bag H, yeah, you've got a lot of gears in there, you've got the kind of the clutch assembly and so on. So that's all nice. You've even got a motor cover, which is same as in the kit, which is cool. Then we're on to the body. Now, we all know how nice Carisma bodies are. This one is no exception. Open it up so we can see it properly. The beauty of the kit is you make it your own. And I've already got ideas as to how I want to paint this. I'm not going to let you know what those are just yet, because you will see them in good time. But you can see body nice and clean, nice and ready to go. I'll put this just here. You've got all the stickers out of the kit as well, so you've even got the details for behind the grille, which is nice. You've got your window masks and so on. And you've got the stripes for the bonnet and the roof, which is what you would get in the kit normally, so that's cool. What else have you got in here? You've got all the details. So you've got the front grille, you've got bumpers, front and back if you want to use them. I don't know if I'm going to use them yet, because a lot of people will talk about double bumpers. The new F-150 tends to run bumpers on the body and not on the chassis. That's personal preference. I may leave these bumpers off and put bumpers on the chassis, or I might do the vice versa. It depends what you're going for. If you're looking for performance, I suppose, or scale, looks and appearance. Scale, looks and appearance, you're going with these ones. Performance, I'd probably say get yourself a Stinger or use the kit ones, because they're the right size, they're the right angle, you get the right approach angle for when you're climbing, and they do the job nicely. What else is in this bag? You've got window masks. Nothing exciting. Window masks, they work. Helps with the painting. Definitely easier to get them in the bag than it is to try and cut them yourself, which I've done in the past, which is always fun. So that's the body. Move all that to one side. And we've got a few more bags in here. Not many. You see, down to kind of the final few. Suspension. Bag A. Now, it's not the most scale looking suspension in the world because it's quite chunky, but it works really well. It's you know, it's ideal, and you can't go wrong. Oil fill shocks, aluminium bodies, all the rest of it. Really good, really nice and straightforward. Looks like a gear bag. You've got parts of the axles here, so you've got the kind of the axle casings and so on. That's all fine. And then you've got the drive shafts and the steering linkage. And I know a lot of you will probably go to Adam and get some of the nice steering linkage that he makes. But it all works, it all does the job perfect. More gear parts, you've got your diff lockers, nice and simple to build these up so it performs well off-road. There you go, Scott's been using the bushes in his Coyote and it's been over a year now. Depends if you want a winch. That's with the bumpers, so if you want a winch on it, you need to fit the bumpers onto the chassis, not onto the shell, because a winch on the shell ain't going to work at all. Totally agree with you there. Hide the winch, good idea. Okay, what we're on to now is some more of the internals for the axles, and these are some of the bushings that we've been talking about, and they are brass bushings, you know, we're not skimping here. And you've got some shims and just some pins and other bits and pieces. Then you've got your drive shafts, and they are metal, nice, sliding drive shafts. Nothing to complain about those at all. Here's all your linkages for the 4-link setup on the suspension on the solid axles. Really nicely made. And the fact that they're kind of pre-measured for you, and all you got to do is tighten them up, makes it so much easier than getting your measuring out and trying to get them correct. Onto the last bag, bar one, we've got more chassis parts. You've got the chassis rails, you've got your, let's open this one up. In here you've got the forward mounted battery holder and the chassis mounted servo. So this alone makes the world of difference to the Coyote. Putting the battery up front is the easiest way of moving the weight balance up front. A lot of people will talk about 60-40 or 70-30 weight distribution to get more weight over the front axle. It makes it so much better when you're crawling, it really does. You know, it transforms the vehicle. I'll be doing that for definite 100%, and I'll also be putting weights in the wheels. I use the strip weights that you get from your local garage, or you can buy them from places like Overland RC. I know they sell them there and a few other places. They're not expensive, and again, getting that weight nice and low, putting it in the tyres, getting it on the axles makes for a much more capable crawler. You may have seen a video of mine that I posted, I think earlier today from memory, where I'm taking it up quite a steep incline, but then there's a gap which is too wide for the wheels, but because of the angle I managed to get the axle, it manages to pop the front wheel up and it pulls it up fine. And I'm confident that if I didn't have the weights in the wheels and on the chassis in the way that I do, it would just not have made that at all. But carrying on, so you've got your front mount chassis, you've got your nice ladders for your chassis mount, for your chassis frames, the C-section as well, nice and simple. And then you've got all your other parts in there. Then the last thing in the box, and then I'll open it up for you guys to ask any questions, is the manual. Now, I've been around Tamiya's for a long time, as a lot of people know, and I still buy Tamiya manuals myself, even if I don't have the car, which is a little bit sad, I suppose. But I enjoy looking at them. I think it's nice to see a nice manual in a kit. You got your tools there, a little Allen key and a wrench, nice and simple. But the manual itself, if it's anything like the last manual that I had from Carisma, it's going to be clear, it's going to be straightforward, and it's looking good. So you've got 3D pictures on here. It's not drawn, it's proper. You can see the measurements, it's step by step, it's all clear to follow. I will post some pictures of the manual so you'll be able to see in a bit more detail, Kevin, but I reckon it looks pretty straightforward to me. You've got the screws, you've got down the left hand side, typical Tamiya format, what you need and what bag you're coming out of and what steps you need to follow in order. It's really straightforward, simple to follow. Yeah, it gives you all the options, it shows you what you're doing, nice and simple there. And also, if you jump onto the Carisma Scale Adventure Facebook page, they've actually posted a whole load of photos of somebody building up one of these already. So step by step, every stage of the build has been documented and photographed and done nicely. But that's everything in the box. I'm going to put something back in the box now, just so we've got a bit of room in front of me. But let's have a look at some of the questions. If anybody's got any questions, do let me know. I can see one there. Kevin Simpson, how much is the kit? I believe it's coming in under 200. I think it's coming out at 179, but Darren Boyle or someone like that might be a better place to answer that one for me. You're getting kind of pro level stuff here and not paying pro level price. In my opinion, I think they could charge more, but you know, that's the beauty of this. This is getting more people into the hobby, more people into the crawling scene. And on that point, I've been around RC for years and years, and I know like Scotty does a lot of racing and he does all sorts of stuff, but there's something about the sport kind of involved in some. I know the racing is immense and it can be really addictive, and I've got BRCA license, so I have done for years, and I've raced at many clubs. Wind's blown my box away a little bit, but there's something about the crawling and the scale scene that's really captured my. That I've met, like John Willits and so on, I've kind of said to them, you know, I know you're into your racing, I know you're into your bashing, but just get a scale, get a crawler, get a truck, and just have a go. And not a single one of them have looked back. You know, for me, it really is. It's a great part of the hobby. Love it, absolutely love it. There you go. UK RRP is 194.99. I thought it was under 200, so I was kind of on the mark there. There you go, Kevin. That's the price. Cheers, Darren. But does anybody else have any other questions about what I've got in front of me? Do they want close-ups of anything? I will be posting photos of all of this. I'll be doing that within the next hour maybe. I'll take some pictures before I put it all away. And when I actually get round to building it as well, I will be documenting that. I don't know if I'm going to be doing time-lapse yet or what I'll be doing, but there'll be some sort of documentation. People have asked me about how I cut the shells, because I do the scalpel method where score, fold, break. That scares some people. For me, I think it's the best way of doing it. I've used scissors in the past, the kind of the Lexington scissors, and they do the job, but you don't get as nice a line on it, in my opinion. I'm not telling you the colour, Chris, you're going to have to wait and see. Arrival date of the kit, I believe it's 2 weeks. I think it's kind of mid-September time now. I know they are very, very soon to be landing in the UK shops. Darren again is probably going to be better at kind of position to answer that one for me. See, Kevin tried drifting after years of being out of the hobby, and because of the NID, I've seen a few crawlers and scale rigs. Yeah, totally agree, Kevin. There you go. Docks 28th, August 28th. So what's that? 5 days. 5 days at the docks. I'll give you probably another week or two to get into the shops and get to your doors. But yeah, it's not going to be long at all, and you'll be able to get your hands on this. And then it's just a case of choosing what you're going to put in it. I'm hopefully going to be getting another one of the Carisma Arc the speed controllers. That's what I've been running in my other Coyote. And it's got a load of profiles on there, a load of different options. I know it's being used in some of their other vehicles, like the on-road cars as well. It's LiPo ready, it's really small, really easy to kind of set the profiles and tune. And it's been working really well, so hopefully I'm going to be getting one of those, because the thing that's got my attention with it is not only it's got the drag brake and everything else, but it's a really small. Okay. Cool. So, any other questions? You can see there around 6th September, so I was kind of about right there, a couple of weeks. Scales where it's at, Scott, totally agree. But then the old Conked's a bit of fun as well, isn't it? You know, the buggies and the racing is good fun. Love crossing, the guys around it like yourself are great. Appreciate that, Kevin, thank you. I do need to start getting out to more meets as well. I'm quite bad because I'll be I'll go out and do a lot of stuff with Carisma, which I love doing, and then I'll end up not going to all the meets that I used to go to because, you know, I've got my family and everything else, and I've got my job, and that's why we're doing this a bit late tonight, because I've been at work all day, playing with computers. So I do software stuff, so you know, it's good, it's different. But luckily for me, there's a lot of people in my office enjoy the RC stuff as well, so I get to talk RCs, get to keep a car on my desk and everything else, which they'll be lucky. Yeah, Chris Jones already said he's getting one. Any other questions? Anything else? Hang fire for a few minutes just in case any other questions come up. I'm interested. I'm looking forward to Chris going for the F-150. Oh, nice. Okay. Closer peek of the new wheels and tyres, please. Yeah, go on then. I'll come around and show you. So wheels and tyres. So here you go. So you got the new ATAT tyres. Hopefully you can see these. I will be taking photos and posting them up, so you will see some better pictures. There are really clear pictures, clearer than what I'm going to take probably on the Carisma. The ATATs, they've already got foam in there, nice and simple. All-terrain adventure tyre. It's kind of a, I don't know, class 2 maybe, knobbly tyre. They're not full on scale like some people like, where there's more filled in, but I can tell you these perform really well. I've had them on mud, I've had them in sand, I've had them in the sea, and they go well. They do climb really nice. They are true 3-piece wheels, 3-piece bead locks. They've got the nice steely kind of look to them. Hopefully you can see this. I can't see my screen now. You can see here, chrome finish. Metal, I don't believe. Let's open it up and have a look. Yeah, so they are plastic wheels, but they are chrome, proper 3-piece, and you do get the mil hex on there. And there's all your little bolts to do them up, and somebody please to know, you know, there's not hundreds of them like you get with some 3-piece wheels. But that's okay. Let's catch up on some of these questions here. Yes, Scott, looking forward to the Nationals. Looking forward to the Nationals. When's the build vids come in? The build vids, I will be doing them within the next maybe 2 weeks. Keeping it stock. The only things I'm going to be changing, if anything really, is probably just adding weights. The electronics, the speedo, the servo, all that's going to be my own choice anyway. In my opinion, there doesn't appear to me at the moment, I'm thinking, oh, I need to change that before I can make it properly perform. And the reason I'm saying that is because I haven't had, like somebody asked me earlier, what have I done to my Coyote that I run at the moment to make it perform better? And all I've done is fit the forward mounted battery holder and chassis and the chassis mounted servo. I fitted that out of the kit version, which you can get for about 10 quid or 11 quid from most hobby stores now. And I've got different wheels and tyres on my Coyote, but that's just because I had some wheels and tyres which were really bedded in, and the first time I was using it was actually at the 12-hour Funduro that was held a few months back now. Tyres and wheels on because they were weighted to my liking and I knew they were going to perform, so I put those on, and they've been working ever so well ever since. But I haven't changed anything else on the chassis. I did flip the motor around, but that's a mod, that's not changing anything as such. But yeah, it will be stock. Mine will just little fine tunes, but as I run it over time, any upgrades, any changes, anything I do make, do to it is going to be documented. You're not going to try and get some clever tricks, which some guys who've been using the trucks for years know about, that kind of helps us perform better than the newbies. That's not. We need to share, we need to talk, we need to discuss, share best practices, and make sure everyone's getting the most out of the hobby. Waffled out kit, yes. Each set of screws, bolts kept with the said parts, yes, correct. Wheel weights are chassis mounted. I'm going wheel weights. Weights in the wheels keeps it low ground, keeps it low, keeps it really nice. The chassis, I use a big old battery. I use like a 6,000 milliamp 2-cell, normally the big chunky ones, and that's enough weight biased up front, because the back's only there's nothing going to be there. The weights that are going in the wheels, I'm probably using a strip and a half, 2 strips in the front and maybe 1 strip in the back, so there's going to be a natural weight biased in the wheels anyway. What we're looking at else, going into Carisma, delivering quality product at the price, can't wait to. It does look nice as well. There you go. Scott, correct, most of us just use the wheel weights. Anything else? Appreciate all you guys joining the video as well. Like I say, it's the first time for me doing this. It's new. I haven't done many unboxing videos. I'm normally too kind of eager. I'm proud of myself for not opening this. I got it last weekend. It's been sitting in my house, and I'm just like desperate to get into it. But I stayed strong, and I've got the video. I'm doing this now for you guys, so I'm sharing the moment with you, just to see this new stuff. Just looking forward to building it now. I just need to make sure when I build it, I've got some good lights and see any tips and tricks of the tools I use and everything else. Yes, Kevin, I've had it that long and not opened it. You're proud of me? Yeah, I agree, Scott. Not had issues with the wheels, weighting them. Depends how you weight them. So, my very first crawler, my first kit crawler was actually an Axial AX10. I had it pre-ordered when they first released them in the UK, and that was maybe 10, 12 years ago. But before that, I was a mod clod guy. I was into Tamiya's. I had clod axles, and I built up a couple of the clod crawlers. And they were gnarly things, big 3.8 wheels, massive setup. And there was loads of different ideas as to how to weight your tyres then, just to get them to crawl better. I remember people putting sand in the tyres. I remember people putting ball bearings that would shift around the tyre while they were driving. They would purposely leave them to be slightly loose, so the weight would always be at the bottom of the tyre. Some crazy stuff, but the way that people do it now, stick on weights onto these rings, because these rings here are separate. So let me just open this up. So your 3-piece wheel is effectively, you've got your outer nice shiny surface, got your ring that goes inside the tyre. Put your weights on that and get your sticky weights. Like I say, you can get them from most places now. They sell them on eBay. If not, just go down to your local Halfords or your local tyre shop and ask them there. Sometimes if they're nice, I might even just give them to you. That's what I do. I bought a load of them from a tyre shop. But like I say, loads of places can get them. Overland RC is one of them. I've seen them on there. I've seen them on eBay a few times. I think you know, you get them from all sorts of places. But stick on weights. They don't move. They don't cause any issue. They're not close enough to the tread of the tyre to cause any issue. You know, they're not coming that high in the wall. But yeah, are we doing one colour or two colours? And maybe I'm doing 4 colours, Chris. So it'll be 2 time. One colour. Not decided how yet. Other colour. And it's probably going to be something disco style for me. It's going to be something shiny and flashy and colourful. I like it like that. Do you vent your tyres? I have done in the past. But it depends if you're running them in water. Because when you run them in water and you've got a tiny hole in them, it seems to get all the water in there and you can never get it out again. I don't know how tight these are going to create, if they're going to create kind of a vacuum. They have got holes in the rings already. So there's a very small hole there. So we'll have to wait and see when we build it. That might be a sucking and see situation. We'll see if we need to get some vents in there to allow the tyre to be softer. The foam in here, it's not the firmest foam in the world, but it's not 2-stage or anything. It is just a normal foam. Let me pull one out and show you. There's tricks you can do with the actual foam as well. One of the ones I've done in the past, which has worked quite well, is cut stars, cut sections out of this. Don't cut too much, just cut a little bit, and that allows the tyre to kind of form over whatever you're crawling over. So it allows the tyre to kind of be softer and form over the rocks better. 250 grams in each corner without problems. Still using original motor and servo, works awesome. It's good to see Adam. Really looking forward to the updates. Are foams better option for softer tyres? You're going to put foams in any of your tyres. Yeah, I won't tell you why, Chris. Buy the kit as well. The foams in the tyres. Without the foam, there's nothing to hold the shape of the tyre. You're not going to be able to sidewall. You're not going to be able to do a lot of the crawling that you would typically do because there's going to be too much deformation in the tyre. And that's one of the reasons why the original Coyote had the two sizes, because that reduces tyre wall deformation. You know, when in racing, when you go around corner, you're putting pressure on the tyre sideways. You're kind of doing that with it. And the thinner the wall, the less formation you've got. So that's why you have low profile tyres on race cars. But if you want the appearance of a large wheel and then put a kind of a large tyre, but then want the performance of a low profile, you just simply put a larger ring on the inside, which is what the original Coyote did. And I totally understand why they did it. And those tyres, even now, if you break them in, they work really well. I remember when we shot the video of the first Coyote kit version of Bradgate, the tyres then, they were fresh, they were crisp, and even at the end of that shoot, you know, it was a good 2-3 hour shoot. It was myself, Pete and Steve Day, we went to do the video up there, and by the end of the day the tyres were performing so much better than when we took them out of the box in the morning. But I've seen people who've got the original Coyote running the original tyre setup, which I think is a really nice looking tyre. I think it's more scale looking than these, although these perform better out of the box. I can say that for definite. You know, those tyres, once you break them in, they're great, and there's ways of breaking them in which people will share with you. Breaking them in, I read one place, every time you run them, spray them in WD-40. Just a light coat of WD-40 before you take them out, and leave the WD-40 on while you're running them. It gives you grip on the rocks and all sorts. I've not tried that personally. I know some people boil them. I don't know about that. I don't think you need to. I mean, these are mega soft anyway. 2-stage foams, is that what you're on about, Kevin? Yeah, I get you. So 2-stage foams, yes, they give you a firmer inner ring and then a softer around the edge, and it gives you the same effect as if you cut the foams. So you can see, if you go on eBay and type in star foams for crawling tyres, all someone's doing is they've got foam like that and they've just basically squeezed it, snip, squeeze it, snip, and it creates like a star shape that you put inside your tyre. That gives you the same effect as having a 2-stage foam, because you've got more dense foam on the inner ring, you've got softer foam around the outside. Over there, put my original Coyote wheels and tyres on my Sundrig. I've got to be honest, they work pretty well. agree with you there, Adam. I've seen a video of yours, so, and you've heard about WD-40, Kevin. Glad I'm not the only one. When someone told me that, I was like, what do you mean spraying a WD-40? WD-40 just stops stuff squeaking and stops it going rusty when you run it in the sea. And if you do ever run it in the sea, make sure you use a cheap battery, because that's the only thing you're not going to be able to say from experience. All the other stuff you can clean, you can keep it going, you can keep it fresh, keep it fine, but your battery's going to get killed. American thing, is that right? Okay. Is there any other questions, anything else? I can see a few people are starting to drop off a little bit now. But yeah, we've been on here half hour, so let's see if there's any last questions. How you doing, Nigel? So you're going to have to watch a repeat on this. But I'll be putting it all back together again. No worries, Kevin. Appreciate you watching, appreciate the questions. Cheers, Adam. Yeah, like I say, I will be posting a video of this on Facebook shortly, so anybody said anything too stupid or made anything look dumb or anything else, like I say, this is my first time going live on Facebook, and it's my first time. Appreciate all the feedback, everyone. Cool. Give it 2 more minutes and then I'm going to lock it off then. I think we're good. Okay. Cheers, everyone. Over and out. Thanks, everybody.